Welcome everyone to All Sex Talk. I'm Master Taino, and today we are going to talk about kinky toys for newbies. A lot of people think that BDSM and our fetishes involve a lot of expense and buying toys who are expensive. And when we're starting, as I did years ago, we have to start with what we have. And there is a lot of things you could find in your house, in Home Depot, or in a $1 store that you can use for your fetishes and to explore your body. So that's what we're going to be talking today. What kind of things, when you are starting, you can begin to do sometimes by yourself. Many of us start doing this when we were teenagers. Right in our rooms, we start exploring things with ourselves. And then when we get together with a girl or a boy, we begin to do other things that we could do with another person. The important thing about BDSM is that we think beyond our genitals. So we go for how we can create sensations in our bodies uh, that become erotic and pleasurable. And that's what BDSM is all about. Down the road in this channel, we're going to talk more specifically, more detail about BDSM, but I'm going to give you what we normally do as newbies when we get started. And sometimes we start very early in our lives. Uh, First thing that I will talk about is nipples. We call it in BDSM nipple play, who is obviously what we got here. And it's interesting. Everybody's different, and that's something you have to understand. And for some people, their nipples are connected with all their sex and their genitals. In the sense, you touch your nipple, and people get excited. And others, you could play with your nipples and nothing happened. And most of us, something do happen. So that's why we like to do what we call nipple play. Well, nipple play is when you are by yourself. It's as simple as using your fingers, beginning to massage, touch, maybe squeeze a little bit your nipple, so you get used to the sensations that you can produce by touching your nipples. And that's the way we started. Sometimes with one, sometimes with both at the same time. And then we realized that we got some things around the house, sometimes the office, that we could use. And these are, for example, the clothespins. And you just open this and put it in your nipples. And that creates some pressure, and that pressure become pleasurable, and you begin to get used. Be aware, never leave those things for too long. That's not a good thing. The other clamps, who are, this is plastic, very cheap. This is very easy. And now they're more sophisticated. A lot of promotional items with this magnet send you these things. Sometimes you go to a conference and get one of these things. And thus also has a grab that you could use in your nipples. So it's just a matter of being inventive. That doesn't cost pretty much anything and could give you some pleasure. Another thing that people like to explore are the feet. And it's interesting. My experience with feet is that you sometimes get the opposite. People who love feet, who is a big fetish, and others who, oh my God, feet, that's dirty, that's, and they're completely abhorred by that. I have a good friend, a boy, who, when I met him, he let me know that his only fetish at that time were feet. And it was funny because he was a little bit ashamed of admitting that he liked feet. And I told him nothing to be ashamed. That's beautiful. That's what you like. That's what you enjoy. That's what make you hard. That's what uh, give you pleasure. Go for it. So what people do with the feet it basically is one person um, kind of lick. You can lick the feet all over. You could suck the toes. You could kiss them. So there's a lot of different. Some people just like to feel the feet on your face, that feeling. And obviously, when we go to the dominant submission thing, there are other things that can be done with feet. Um, some people don't understand it, and that's fine. I could tell you an anecdote of a young man who came to see me, and I tried to introduce him to feet. And I told him, I want you to do this to my feet. And no, 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 no. That was a big no, no. I cannot do that. And I said, okay, no problem. So we went to do other things. So later that evening, while I have him tied up in my bed, I start playing with his feet. And he went crazy. He loved the sensations that a tongue was doing on his feet. And he obviously admitted to me, now I know why you like me to do that to you. Exactly. So don't be afraid of trying. It, you may not like it, and that's fine. But try and see. And if you like it, I have met many novices who I introduce them to feet and they love it. And it could be both ways. You could love it to give it, you could love it to receive it, you could do both. That's not a problem. Other part of your body who are very nice to explore, and for some people could be their, that kind of body, that kind of touch that really excite you, are the necks or the ears. I have met people that you begin to kiss them or to make sensations around their neck and they go crazy. I like, for example, to grab the ear of somebody and kind of bite it a little bit and pull them and they like it. That's one of the reasons I'm not much into piercings. I always say people put piercings in places that interfere with my play, and the ears is one of them. If a person has a piercing or a lot of piercings, like some people do, then play with your ears could be a problem because you don't want to tear one of the piercings or to create any problems. Health is always important. The most important thing when you play, you cannot do anything that hurts you in your health. Another thing, and this is very interesting. A lot of kinky guys love what we call body scent. Those who don't like it call it body odors, like it's something bad. And really, especially among men, although I have to admit, I have women who has enjoyed my body scent. In my case, I have a good body scent. I don't know if because I'm Latino, etc. But people like to, when they are exploring your body, to feel, especially with men, to feel that scent of men. They don't like to go into a cologne or perfumes. They like to, to sense and to smell that scent of a man. And then there are others who go to different parts of the body to get something a little bit stronger. That could be accomplished with the feet. Sometimes the feet, if they're a little bit sweaty or something, they could have a scent who is natural. The same, sometimes the genitals also, there is a good scent there. And the most popular are the armpits. People love armpits, and those who are heavy into it, they love them very sweaty. They like you after you finish exercising. For others, they like basic goods, nice scent, but nothing too extreme. And like everything in SM, you learn. You may start with just smelling when they are okay, and little by little you need some more, and you are open yourself to have it more extreme, more strong. And obviously in the summer you get those things more often than not. Okay, let's go now to what I would consider the most popular uh, BDSM thing that novices enjoy having, and that is the spanking. I know people, and I remember doing it myself when I was younger. When you are alone and you don't have anybody to play with, you try to start spanking yourself to see how that feels in your butt. And then when you are with somebody else and doing the sexual activity, uh, even the people are not necessarily kinky, but you like to spank your partner. Be male or female, doesn't matter. Everybody likes a good spanking. And sometimes for me, I remember that was my way when I was young and not in the community and just meeting people casually. And I wanted to do something kinky and I couldn't. And I will spank the person to see how he react. And if he react in a positive way, then I know, oh, I may be able to do more with this person. So I use spanking for that. And but then besides the hand, especially when you play with somebody else, uh, people want more, and people want more, a little bit harder sensation. Um, but you're not up to go to a leather store to buy a $40 paddle. But my God, you could find something like this, who is a wooden spatula that has been with me for way over 25 years because I bought this early in my journey. Very nice finished spatula, and I use this for spanking. And what this cost? $1? I remember seeing it in different places for nothing. You know, it's a very cheap. And I remember when I started in Puerto Rico. I was living in Puerto Rico, so we got beaches all over the place. So beach paddles. We all have beach paddles, so that's what I use. Or ping pong paddles. I use those also early in my journey. We had those always, so that was easy. And then as I begin to in my journey and begin to travel, you begin to see in different stores different kind of things. One that I will say, I remember first time I went to New Orleans in Louisiana, I run into a gumbo paddle, big. I still have it, $5, and I still have it and I still use it. So very cheap, you could find different instruments that you could use for spanking. Finally, ropes. I'm not much into ropes, but I did it when I didn't have anybody else. I got a couple of pieces of ropes to tie somebody to the bed because that was um, one of the kind of things that you could do when you're starting. Just during sex, you tie somebody to the bed, and that could give some sensation. But be careful when you don't know exactly how to tie somebody else. It's not just to make a knot, like whatever. No, you get to be careful because you could damage nerves in the wrist area. So make sure that if you're using it, if you don't know much, but that's the only thing you have, try to make sure that you use them loosely, that not tie up and could cause damage. Finally, you can start early also doing what we call electrostimulation. That is a whole thing, and we are eventually I will do a video on different ways to do electro. But you could find one of those things, massage, it costs not much, and create a vibration, and you could use this pretty much any part of your body. You could do it yourself to yourself, or you could do it when you play with somebody else. That's the way to introduce yourself to the pleasure of creating some stimulation using something that vibrates, something managed by electricity. So these are basic things that you could do when you know when you want to explore, start exploring sometime by yourself, and you can find other toys that you can use. Kinky people tend to be very creative, and we could go to a store and say, "Oh wow, I could do this." I have seen people getting uh, um, different type of things that they could find in any store that they could use to play to create sensation. We're going to talk more in detail in this channel about BDSM, and a lot of people think that it's about pain. No, it's about sensation. It's about stimulating your body in a way that creates some pleasure, some erotic pleasure. So that's what it's all about. And that is what I want you to begin to learn. It's interesting, sometimes in my classes, especially with novices, when I start talking about the different things you could do, a lot of people ask me, oh, but I'm doing that with my partner, without realizing that that was a fetish, that that was out of the norm of the vanilla sex, like playing with your nipples, like spanking. Oh, there is another one that we have not talked about. How about water sports? You don't need anything. You don't need to buy anything to enjoy water sports. And some of you will tell me, what is water sports? Well, in the kinky world, water sports are play with your pee. Mean you could pee on yourself, you could pee on somebody else. That is called golden showers, when you shower somebody with your pee. People love that smell of the pee, they feel it. It becomes erotic. Other people don't want anything to do with it. Well, that's fine. If that is not for you, again, one of the beauties of the BDSM is you pick and choose. You try and you decide what you want to do, what really you're happy with. There is another thing with the water sport, who is what we call golden cocktails, who is when you drink. That is okay. First of all, it's not a problem, a basic problem with health. The pee is, the urine is pretty much sterile. Sometimes it can get stronger, depending if people are taking medicine, if people take things who could make it strong, or people don't drink too much water. In our leather dynamic, a lot of people love to do that with a partner who already have 3 or 4 beers, because then the pee is completely clear and easy to drink. That's something that is, I would say, not more for novices, although you never know, some people like things right at the beginning. So I hope that today I have given some ideas of how you can begin to explore your kinky, your fetishes with yourself or with your partner. I am glad you came today. Make sure that you subscribe so you can continue seeing the videos that we're going to be producing very often for you guys. You have a great day, and stay here in Al Sex Talk. We got much more for you to come.